I'm Adam DeSanctis here at MBA Secondary and Capital Markets Conference for a conference conversation with Tim Bowler, President of ICE Mortgage Technology. Tim, it's great to have you here.
Adam, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for hosting me, and thank you for all that the MBA does actually to help our industry.
Of course, I'm really looking forward to this conversation, so let's dive in. You and I both know there's been an uptick in consolidation in our industry in recent years. What are your thoughts on that, and what is ICE doing to help its clients remain competitive?
Okay, so I'll separate those because two distinct questions there. Within the context of industry consolidation, in any industry that you're in, there's always going to be some level of consolidation, and that's natural in good markets and in tough markets. I actually think one of the interesting things about the mortgage industry is notwithstanding the fact that there's consolidation at certain periods, but there's also lots of generation of new lenders and new organizations that are coming in. It's really, it strikes me that, our industry, the services that we provide, the households that we help, really does create a dynamic environment in which, there's naturally consolidation. We've seen this in the past. If you just go look back at your history, who the top 10 lenders are, decade by decade, it's a completely new list. While at the same point in time, just the access, the ability to start a new lender and to grow is, never been better and never been, from my perspective, never been easier to actually enter the market. And that docks into your second question, which is like, what are we doing to help? And that really is providing an end-to-end technology solution that allows all entrants to the market and all existing lenders and or servicers to take advantage of best-in-class technology to help them scale their business, and at the same point in time provide that true best-in-class service to ultimately the consumers, the households that they're facing, to have them have a better mortgage experience.
Yeah, you bring up some good points there. So let's dive in a little bit about some of those innovations from both the servicing and originations standpoint. Can you tell us about those?
Yeah, of course. So I'll try to break it down into pieces. First and foremost, at the beginning of the loan life cycle, where that household or that individual is actually out there looking and shopping for a home and trying to think about, what's the right mortgage for them to get within the context of ideally the dream home that they found. And I think we've developed some real enhancements within the context of the household interfaces that we have with Encompass Consumer Connect, our ability to much more dynamically price the loan through a lot of the advancements that we've made around ICE PP&E, our product and pricing engine, and how that flows very naturally into our CRM tools and our lead management tools to have a much more easier and straightforward relationship between that lender and that household as they're going through the process of obtaining the right mortgage when they found the right home. And then how that docks naturally into our Encompass ecosystem, which is our system of record that helps process nearly 1 out of every 2 loans manufactured in the country on any given day or any given week. We fully integrated those processes to allow for the loan to get funded and closed faster. Next is, and this is something we're very excited about, pro forma for bringing together the legacy Black Knight organization into ICE Mortgage Technology. Yep. We've invested heavily in being able to board that loan. So once that loan's made and once that loan's funded, board that into MSP, which is the system of record that is most widely used in the mortgage servicing market. So that household's information that was right there from that point of origination and funding can come seamlessly into MSP as a system of record without errors, without footfalls, without confusion. And then that sets up that household and that servicer for success on a go-forward basis. Because if you know that household, you know how to engage with them right from that point of origination, you can then engage with them much more dynamically or interact with them much more dynamically over the life of that loan to try to present them with opportunities as their housing journey goes. Whether that's a refinancing opportunity, whether that's a home equity opportunity, or for that matter, just making it easier once the borrower's paid off their loan and releasing that lien and getting and being free and clear of that mortgage.
Yeah, exactly. I really like how you broke down the entire ecosystem there and what ICE is doing.
One continuous. I always joke with my team. Well, it's not joking, but there's real truth in it. We're trying to set the same gauge width, for the ecosystem, so everything can ride in the same set of technology rails, and that can operate. That a lender and a servicer can operate seamlessly across that same technology platform to reduce errors, drive efficiency, and then have a better opportunity to engage with households wherever they are in their mortgage and or home ownership journey.
Yeah, and technology in general, things are just moving like so fast right now. How does ICE stay focused on what really matters to the industry and to your clients?
Oh gosh, well, that one's easy. And I talk about this relentlessly with my team, which is our 3 I's and a P. Those for us, it's we've got to constantly focus every day in every way. How do we improve the underlying core products and services that we have? How do we make incumbents better? How do we make MSP better? The second I is how do we integrate? How do you integrate those two market-leading pieces of software together to have a seamless experience for those lenders, for those servicers? And I'll just for a lender that retains servicing, how does it just go straight through? For an originator that wants to sell servicing, how do we make it easier for them to sell servicing at a better price? Because a servicer on MSP can board that loan with ease and reduce compliance risk. Yeah. The third area is innovation. That's my third I. How do we relentlessly look to find ways to innovate around our technology as we integrate it? And that's where a lot of the work around generative AI and some of the machine learning tools can come in order to automate those processes, to make it so much easier for the human capital in our industry, for those lending officers, for those admins, and for those underwriters, for those that are engaging with households in the call centers, even for the SPOCs when the household's facing hardship. How can they have the best set of tools to make it as easy for them to engage with that household in the best way possible to help them have a better experience within the context of their mortgage and housing life cycle? So those are my 3 I's. And then the P is relentless partnership. Partner with your clients. You partner with the official sector, which is, as you know, plays such a large role in our industry, whether it be the 2 enterprises, Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, or the insurers, FHA or VA. You got to partner with your clients, and you got to partner with the sources of liquidity for this market to really deliver just a best-in-class technology solution set to the industry to help deliver best outcomes possible for households.
And so best outcome as possible, we've talked a lot about innovation and efficiency.
Yeah.
How do you quantify some of this for your clients?
Oh, well, I'll break that down into a couple pieces. First and foremost, there's just the mathematical. Like, can you close a loan faster? How are you helping improve pull-through rates? Can you manufacture a loan at a lower cost? And we have done tremendous research in that area about just the efficiencies, the hundreds if not thousands of dollars that lenders save by leveraging our underlying technology to manufacture a loan. When you're thinking about servicing, is how do you make your servicing center much more efficient? Like a piece of technology or the solution set that I like to point out, we've been partnering with the servicer on our call prediction technology, and it meaningfully improves the ability for that servicer to identify where that household's calling in and to be much more efficient as they serve them, which improves cost. But equally, if not more important, that also makes it a more pleasant experience for that household when they're reaching out to the servicer to need help. So it's trying to find the right ways to deliver efficiency, to basically leverage that human capital, those professionals in the system, as optimally as possible, especially when they're interfacing with households. And then also, just it's clear to all of our clients and clear to us how to also give that household the opportunity to interface with you digitally in a much more pleasant and much more dynamic fashion. And through our work, I'd like to highlight now with our work around Servicing Digital, which is our household interface around MSP, we're making that system so much more dynamic so it's easier for that household that's more digitally inclined, to self-service, to be able to explore the options that they want to look at, whether that's going to be refinancing or a home equity loan, or for that matter, if they're facing a hardship, ask for help through that Servicing Digital interface that docks in. So it's unifying your technology set to help scale your human capital to make them more effective, while at the same point in time making certain that you're focused on the fact that so many households today prefer a digital interface, and making that best in class is just absolutely critical to us.
Tim, this has been an awesome conversation. I've really enjoyed talking to you. Hope to see you again soon at another conversation.
That'd be great. Adam, I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.